I'd like for you guys to try as much as you're comfortable with, and then always think about your body. What is your body needing or not doesn't have anymore? If that comes to flexibility, mobility, strength, and maybe you can be sliding in here with some of your knowledge. Because I find if we're teaching our kids to think outside the box when it comes to dry land, injury prevention, strengthening and all that, it may help long term to help the kids. I was out with the U15 AA team today. There was 5 or 6 that were a foot taller than the others. How did they do in skating? They struggled. Uncomfortable, no connection, no fundamental, like everything seemed to be lost because they're just struggling to survive. Very tall and upright skaters, didn't go into ankle flexion and so on. Had disconnect through their hips, disconnect through not activating core, and just a bunch of that stuff, if that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so let's get started with what age group are you guys at? U79. U79. U7. Yeah.
U9 and U11.
Okay.
U11.
Okay, in what division?
Div 1.
Okay.
U7. U9. U11, but Div 4.
Okay.
U7.
Okay.
7.
Okay, I had the pleasure of being out with U11 Division 5, and 6 or 7 of the kids had ADHD at a 4 o'clock ice time. That was really good. It went really well. Try and take what you can for your age groups. We go from anywhere U7 to U11. And then, of course, the divisions will make a difference too. Division 1 might be different now than it was prior to because of HSL. So Division 1 may not be as Division 1 anymore as it used to be. Either way, let's get into our hockey stands. And anything that we're doing today, just always think about your kids, how they would handle that. What I'd like for you guys to do is focus on your ankles. What are my ankles giving me right here? Knee bend. A lot of times we talk about knee bend, but we're not focusing on the ankles. And I think ankles are important because it gives us some flexion. We're going to have longer strides. We're going to be, our center of gravity is much lower than if it would be, right? So when you're going into your boot, when do you start feeling your tongue? And when do you feel restricted? And that's when sometimes I talk about dropping an eyelid for depending on how much you can handle. So when we look at his hockey stance, for example, already, I'm questioning him maybe having flat feet because he's pronating to his inside edges, right? And that might be the case, maybe not. Now go to your outside edges, neutral. Outside, inside, neutral, or flat, whatever you want to call it. Now go back to your inside edges, look up. Outside edges, go to neutral. What do you think your neutral is? And look down, are you actually flat? Or are you still on your inside edges? Now bend your ankles and knees again, activate core and hips. We don't want to be floppy up here. Hold one foot, and don't put the other foot down. So keep that foot up in the air, and really focus on understanding your flat blade and understanding your numbers. So the less I move up top, what's happening with my movement down low? So that's something that your kids will tell you. Are they pronating inward, out, or are they moving around a lot up top? That tells you a lot already about their skating in general. Does that make sense? Okay, now go to your weaker foot and try it there. I'm just gonna look at how you guys do with your ankle flexion and your ankle bend, and if you're trying to control your feet or if your feet control you. Okay. Why did I ask you guys to have your stick up in front? What's different? Our kids all want to go into hockey stands like this. This isn't a hockey stance. My vision is taken, how's my flexion? How much range do I have in my stick handling? So ideally would be if we're like this, I can see the ice, I'm adding my stick, and now I have vision as I go. Does that make sense? So I'd always recommend to take sticks out, or have your stick up and then put it back down, because then we went through the body instead of, we're not trying to find a hockey stance through our stick. That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, now the next one will be awesome. Who wants to sit on their bum? Okay, everyone, cool, sit on your bum for a sec. Have your arms up. Stand up without using your arms. Why are we doing this? I want to see how your hip mobility is and how your core activation is. Stand up without using your arms. Arms means elbow. Okay, how tight are the hips? Okay, now you kids doing this, what would we see? Okay, if you want to try it one more time, gain more momentum by pulling your legs in quicker. Do a sit-up and then pop back up. Try and keep your arms up as you do it. All right, cool. So now, for me, I know this seems like we haven't moved a lot, but I find by us doing this, it tells us a lot if the kids are going to skate around like this. Are they inside, outside? By doing what we just did, sitting on our bum, we'll see core activation and hip mobility, and that will tell us a little bit more about how they may skate. Does that make sense? Let's skate anywhere in that zone without lifting your feet. Don't lift your feet and go random anywhere. Random anywhere, yeah? Oh yeah, that's good. So now, usually with the groups, what we're going to see, especially at the lower divisions, kids will go into the drill like this. What are they using? Inside edges only, because that's where their comfort is. So that's where they naturally go to, and that's why I didn't tell you guys what to do. I just said, don't lift your feet. What we would like to see is that we're going inside, outside edge, slalom, as we keep moving. So try that again. Inside, outside edge combined, one hand on the stick, get a little lower. Okay, now lift your feet, and go anywhere, go anywhere, go anywhere. Okay, now, every time I blow the whistle, if you want to, you go on one knee and come right back up. Does that make sense? So wherever you're at, drop on that knee. Let's go, skate around, skate around. Now, as you're moving. Okay, now, what if we add our stick above our head? What changes? For some of us, we're going down like this and leaning on the stick to come up. Well, our kids do that. So you say one hand on the stick above your head. You explore, there's no whistles, just drop down on your knee as we go on your own terms. Let's go. Stick above your head, stick in one hand. Okay, now this time on the whistle, we're going to go forwards to backwards, right back to forwards. Let's go. Go anywhere. Yeah, right back to forwards, right back to forwards. Forwards, backwards, forwards. Okay, so some of us, we're shaving as we transition. This should be nice step, step. So go again on your own time and focus on steps versus shaving. Step, keep it nice and light, and step. Okay, now we're gonna go anywhere in the zone. Do tight turns as our stick goes through. Kids will do this. I need to be in my tight turn, hold it as I go through, as I go through. Play around with both sides, let's go. So bring it through from the outside of the turn. So look, this is the outside of the turn and go through. Yes. So this will always be easier if we go from the outside of the turn through versus the inside. Yes? Okay, so far how are we doing? If I would ask you guys to stop on one foot as you glide, like this, that would be pretty good. How would the U7s do with that? Okay, you guys explore. You guys explore with inside edge, glide, outside edge. You pick your foot. Let's go. Inside edge, outside edge, I don't care. Ankle bend, knee bend, Go a little low on your stops. Don't be too tall. Activate through your core and hips. Okay. Everyone just go on your knee and just open up. Just feel that. Make sure you keep your toe down. Don't bring your toe up. So some kids will bring it up. It will make a difference, and then lean forwards into it. Just compare your hips. Which side feels a little bit more open, a little looser as we're on the blade. Now, if we work on tight turns or punch turns, usually the side that's tighter will also be the side that's tougher. How are we feeling when it comes to our own bodies and our hip mobility? How are we? Okay, so that is for us opening up. Now, if we would go cross over, how does that feel in your hips? Keep your bum down. If that's easy, go on your elbows. Compare your hips when you cross over versus us opening up. Work on both hips. This is something you guys may do at the beginning of the season just to get a feel for the kids again, where you also check on flat feet, bow-legged, knock-kneed, and overall stretching would be nice. And maybe some dryland karaoke and so on, because some of the motor skills off ice will show on ice, and usually, it makes it tougher. Okay, next one. With the kids, I'd like for you guys to just explore with this. I'm on my edge, I'm digging in, I'm holding it. So right now would be nice to have the guards, right? Put your glove underneath your knee so you're not hurting your knee, if that helps. So right now we should be more on the heel, on like our number 3 to 4, back here as we dig in, but try and hold it. Make sure you're on your edge. So my knee's bent and my ankle is bent. We're not locked. Then explore with the other leg and see which side is easier. Again, if you want to put your stick above your head and try the same thing, it may help you understand your connection through your hips and core. Find your edges. You're probably going to feel one side gives you a lot less than the other. Now, if we would do the same thing backwards, how would that look? Which part of the skate do we need to find? You would be on your 1 and 2 now, on your front foot. On your front foot. So I can already see some of you guys are struggling with connecting to your body, which may happen with your U7s, U9s, and so on. But this helps me understand what you guys may or may not be able to do. Does that make sense? Okay, you guys can stand up again, please. Okay, if I can borrow 6 of you and the rest can watch, that'd be great. All we're gonna do is weave through and weave back. When we choose nets, what's different with nets than pylons? It simulates more of a player. A pylon I can lead over, the nets I can't. So my entries and exits might be different. Now with the U7s, the smaller nets might be fine, right? Okay, so I need 6 of you. All you gotta do is skate through and skate back. And start on the inside. And when he's done with the first net, the next one can go. Yeah, let's go. And next one goes. 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 And that's good. Yeah, make sure you weave back as well. Okay. So why do we weave down and weave back? Scanning, looking ahead, understanding passive pressure. I would always recommend to have a lot of passive pressure involved. There are some drills that are robotic, where we work on technique. And then there's got to be other drills where we use the technique, but we also got to think. And I find there's too many kids these days that are robots through skill sessions, but it's all robotic skill compared to reactive or active skill, if that makes sense. So if you guys are going anywhere to have your kids in skill sessions, make sure you have both. Because the game is so reactive or active that I have to think of that. Does that make sense? Okay, now I need 2 of you to be here, right here. Maybe John, and yeah, the next one. You're gonna be on the other side of the net, and you're gonna have to tag him around the net. Why did I move it closer to the boards? Where do kids maybe go? So now we isolate a little bit more, but you guys are gonna move on to the next net as you two are starting the next game of tag right after. You two are gonna tag, you're gonna get away from him. On the whistle, you move on, but you also switch who the tagger is. Does that make sense? Okay, ready? Let's go. You don't have to go hard. Okay, you guys move on, next two in. You guys tag on the next net right away. Let's go. Tag right away. And move on. Does that make sense? You don't have to go in it if you don't want to. Oh yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. Guys, that's good, that's good. We got the gist of it. Because we can't go through all drills for minutes today, because I would rather have you guys see more. With your kids, how will they handle this? And I've done this with U7 up to wherever, and you could do the same with puck. Both of us have a puck. As I tap your foot, now I have my puck again, you have yours, you tap my foot. And then it could be that I have a puck and you don't have a puck. Now you try and get my puck. When we blow the whistle and switch, I'll give you my puck. Could we have these skill sticks under here and lift the net and the skill sticks pops out? Sure. Now we could make it a passing drill as well, or I could tap it under to get away from pressure. What you guys do with that is completely up to you, but the more things you may add at times, it changes up your practice look, which is important too. Would I do it all the time? No, because it's a longer setup too, right? Depending on the staff you have, you may want to do that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to step into the gaps. So everyone can try this. We're going in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Let's go. The gaps are pretty tight, so slow it down. Inside edges. Okay, so if this would be happening in more speed, the gaps have to be larger. As you guys probably noticed, you ran out of space. I'm on my inside edge, move on. Inside, move on. How much am I moving on quickly? Moving on quicker because every step matters. Some of us will be on both feet. That's not the idea of it. Now if you want to add your stick, I'm faking in, I'm faking out. If you wanted to go there. Does that make sense? When it comes to mohawks, I like it, but I also try and stay away from it at times because I'd rather work on outside edges than more inside edges. Our kids already spent more time on inside edges, so you got to find the happy balance on that. Does that make sense? Okay, when it comes to these nets, what else would you guys do with this? If you're thinking creative mind. So I'll just show you guys one thing. You could be here, you could come around, do a punch turn, get away from pressure, and go again. The space is tight, which punch turns we want to work on in tighter spaces. Bigger spaces might be for tight turns. Now, your kids may be struggling with punch turns. How are they doing with tight turns? How are they doing with outside edges? So that
Your kids are like, when they come on for a tight turn, like they're kind
yeah.
of like, I assume it's like they're too high up and they're just like wiping over.
Okay, so why don't we go to the sticks for a sec and everyone try this again. We're gonna hold our outside edge, come all the way around, and then go the same way 5 times in a row. So that way you really get some repetition. Whoever's first, go on your left foot. Hold your outside edge. And make sure you don't collapse to your outside edge. And watch. My knees are somewhat in line. They're not going to open up because it's going to redirect me. So make sure your hips are engaged through your knees being in line. So you guys can hear different sounds for how they utilize the outside edge. And that's okay. So that's much quieter, but he's also collapsing in. So you don't want to collapse into your outside edge. Okay, how was that? How was it? How were the sound differences?
Oh yeah, like I'm way better on my right than my
And then what number would you have been on if it comes to 1, 2, 3, and 4?
like 4.
Okay, so you're almost on your heels.
Well, on the right, like it's
So 1, 2, 3, and 4.
like trying to stay on my like 3. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay. And with your kids, you may just say front foot where the toes are, your heel or the middle, because they may not understand 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this for me, I like just call that 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then there's guys that call the inside edge 5 and the outside edge 6. At the end of the day, we could say front foot and back foot and middle, but sometimes we could be on our 2. So everyone explore that. Have your stick up again, go on your 1. What happens to your 4? Now go on your 1 and 2. Do we maybe need the 1 and 2 for a quick start? Okay, go to your 2 and 3. That's a flat blade. Go on to your 3. What happens to your 1? Now go to your 4. So if you guys would go back to this drill and you'd focus on your numbers, what would you notice? I'm too much on my 3. I'm too much on my 2. I'm now on 2 and 3. But you may explore with something a little different. And again, depending on your maturity of your kids, you play around with that. I'm not telling you they have to drop an eyelid or they have to work with numbers. If their maturity isn't there, it's not there. One thing that I'd like for you guys to think about is anytime we glide and my knees are in line, my hips are in line. Our kids usually want to open up their hips, which throws me off. So you got to really force that these are in line because now my hip is straight. Yes? Okay. Now, who wants to try and jump over all the sticks with 1 foot? So you're going to get speed, and we're going to jump over, and you're doing all 5. So one thing to the jumping, I would recommend to jump and land on 1 and 2, or 2, then go to 2 and 3. If we land on 2 and 3, what happens? It's too flat, too loud, and we're losing speed. Let's go. Okay, cool. And yeah. Just by sounds, which numbers do we think that he landed on?
2, 3.
So do you hear it? Everyone jump. Land on 1 and 2, or 2. Land on 2 and 3. The more flat it is, it'll be losing a bit more speed. How much load up did you have through your ankles? I think we could go lower, right? And then when we absorb it, we go low as well. So with the kids, everyone be 7 years old again, stand tall, and jump. How's our jumping? Good? Now bend your ankles, bend your knees, and jump. And then absorb it on the way down as well. Go back right into your ankles and knees. That's how we would like to land on our 1 and 2, so it's not as loud. Does that make sense? Okay, now who wants to step over all the sticks? Yeah? Coach Chris?
Step over them.
Yeah, just step over and move on. Yeah, a little bit more speed. Make it more of a natural flow. Okay, did you hear the sounds? You were on your inside edge. So just try and keep it a little bit more fluid as you go, and that way it looks a little lighter. Can you jump over my stick right here? And everyone just listen to the landing part. No, just do it with 1 foot again. So step over and then go on 1 foot. So he didn't do it now, but earlier what he did, he ended up pronating to his inside edge. There is a stopping sound because I'm not controlled and balanced, right? Okay. When it comes to sticks, who uses sticks or lines to jump over? Okay, now what if we jump over, we go down right away, jump over, go down right away? What's different with that? You 7s understand there's something really tall, there's something low. Because right now they can maybe separate that there's different heights to the ice. Could I also be doing this? I go down, step, outside in, step. Does that make sense? Okay, we're gonna try that now. All of us, you're gonna glide forwards first and just jump. And I want you guys to focus on your landing and then you glide as you go. Just go down the middle because it's fresh ice. Glide, add a jump. Try and avoid any friction. Should be really quiet when you're gliding. And work it backwards back. Just be careful, backwards back. Try and do it backwards back. Just explore with backwards. And pay attention to your numbers again. You don't have to jump if you don't want to. It's more about paying attention to the numbers in the glide. Backwards back. What numbers are you guys on? When you're gliding backwards, you don't have to jump. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Okay, so the jumping wasn't bad, but your chest wanted to drop, right? Okay, yeah, when you just went like that. When we were gliding forwards, where were we at? Which number? Or where were we trying to be? 2 and 3? Flat blade? Yeah, and then when we jump, where do we go? Yeah, and then when we get backwards, where were we with our gliding? I feel like I'm more at 3 right now than 2 and 3. If I'd be jumping now, how would I jump? Now I'd have to change numbers, right? And again, with your kids, they may not get that at that age group. U11s, Division 1 maybe, depending on how mature they are. Now, do you guys remember this drill earlier? And I like going back to this drill when I see kids jumping and they're collapsing. They're dropping forward with their shoulders. Or when we skate backwards and we skate backwards like this. Because in this, we have to really make sure that we're staying strong through our core. So you could do that. You could try and switch as you go. You could try and do this. Where we now open up a little bit through our hips again. So some may not be able to do that based on hip tightness. So as you guys are maybe picking up, I'm really trying to focus on the body, the functionality of the body in skating, compared to just thinking about the hockey player. There's a human, an athlete, or not so athlete skating. So what's missing? What's the missing link? Because that will help us in dry land. Anything else from you guys so far? How are we feeling about some of the drills? Okay, now I'd like for us to just think about a U7 kid that's weaker. I'd like for us to all walk, but be gentle as we walk. Have our feet straight. They're not opening up in a V. And then once you get that, walk a little quicker. So now you guys are gentle with the ice. Bend your ankles, bend your knees. Okay, now try and do the same thing backwards. Try and walk backwards. How does that feel? A little more uncomfortable? Okay, now go to your outside edges. And usually what kids will try and do is they try and hold it. But by holding it, what happens? What am I doing? I'm never in the same spot, right? I'm actually resting in my boot. As I rest in my boot, I'm going to try and go down with my bum. Keep my head up. Come back up. If you need to go down on stages, go down on stages. Get speed to the blue line, and then glide down on your outside edges. Get your bum down, keep your stick up. Yeah, let's go. So what you guys experience right now, the kids may, yeah, you can stay down there. The kids may experience. Do you hear the brakes though? Do you hear the friction? Can you go one more time, please, and just go this way? So everyone can hear. Do you guys hear a sound? Was it both feet or 1 foot? Yeah, so then you gotta maybe look like which one is it? Okay, so how do we make this quiet? And can our kids actually get there as we go? Or are they this far apart? How am I gonna get down if my feet are that far apart? But if our kids are only inside edge driven, how important would it be for them to explore that there are outside edges and that there is a neutral edge or a flat edge or whatever you want to call it? So when it comes to outside edges, who has kids that are struggling? Okay, could they do the outside edge stop or the punch stop? Probably tough, right? They may do this. And there's a bit of a zigzag. So Tyson, if you want to try this with me, yeah, come right and face me. Go into your ankle bend, knee bend, lean into the boards. Push your feet out, take a risk on your outside edge. Now, if you want to explore, you could drop your boot, bring it back up. Drop your boot, bring it back up. Where do you need to have strength to bring your boot back up? Or sometimes it goes up depending on how we handle the drill. But how does it feel? And relate to your U11 kids to that. What will our kids do? They'll do this. Got it, coach, I'm on my outside edge. No, I'm on my flat edge. That's why feet have to be further away. So if you have bingo dabbers and you want to make a line or a spot or a dot, then do that. If you guys could all try this, please. Feel your outside edges on both sides. Challenge how far you put your feet off the wall. And remember, we're talking U7 to U11. And this might be weaker divisions. So make sure your ankle starts off strong before you get going. Yeah, now bring it up to your edge. Start on your edge and then drop it down. Don't start on your boot. Okay, how does it feel to push off? Okay, now if everyone can come right here besides Tyson, that looked really good. Can everyone come here and look? So if we would look at, there's a line right here. Where's the head and shoulders when it comes to the middle of that skate? Is he leaning forward a tiny bit? So how could he correct that a bit more to be a bit more on top of the foot? Yeah? Now, how does the control feel? Better. Yes. Now, when our kids lean forward and we go into body contact later on, if you wouldn't mind just being on both feet, please. Yeah, on both feet like standing normal. If he gets used to this, and he has the puck, and I want to go through and hit, what could I be hitting? His head. So when we get into these habits too early with our heads leaning forward, if there's a line right here, ideally would be my head is right in the middle of that, because now my center of gravity will be better again. We'll have one ankle that's stronger than the other or more comfortable. Do you have flat feet? Yeah. So with you going to your outside edge, it's like going on a vacation you have never been to, right? Because you don't spend a lot of time there, but there will be a lot of kids that will experience the same thing. So that's why at the beginning, if you guys want to do these drills where we just go around our own stick and everyone does it, now if you have a spectrum of players based on skill, it doesn't matter now because everyone's doing it within their space, with their speed and their ability. We have a chance to go around. Does that make sense? When there's a line, it's different because now there might be a slower guy and a faster guy and so on. Who has tried this on the boards before? And how was it? Yeah. Okay, so now when it comes to the stick one that I just mentioned is, could I be here? And then I load it up and I jump over it. And then I hold it and I jump over it. Sure, I could do a C cut or a push and jump over it again. Will that be different again? Yes, because now a lot of kids want to try and go straight at it to be on flat or neutral, then jump, land straight, and go back to outside edge. But I actually try to jump as I was on my outside edge. Does that make sense? Okay. Can we skate anywhere in the zone? and just go on our outside edges only. And I would like to be at random, so you have to show awareness. Outside edges only. No inside. Bend your ankles, bend your knees, be aware. Your head is up the whole time. Your head is up the whole time. Okay. Yeah. Hold on to my stick as well. Okay. Turn sideways. Go on your left foot. And lean into the sticks, but trust me. How does that feel compared to the wall? Do you like the holding better than the wall?
Yeah.
Okay. Just because you fell, I don't know why, but you did. I just wanted to have another option. The hold may make us feel better. What will you 7 kids do when we hold? They'll just do anything crazy. So again, maturity matters if we're teamed up. Who was okay with the outside edges and could have added jump? Who wants to try and add a jump? So now when it comes to outside edges, right now we did random because it was about the awareness piece. What if we go along lines? Now if there's a line, it's truly telling me how consistent I am. That would be a nice teaching tool for technique. Because some kids may not trust the left foot, but they trust the right foot, and it's way bigger. They get way further away from the line. So lines are always good for anything. Remember, it's U7 to U11. Can I glide on one foot as I'm on the line? Can I jump and land as I'm on that line? Does that make sense? Who uses lines a lot? Okay, outside edge. Is it maybe easier to go around the circle than is my stick? It might be because it's bigger. The smaller it gets, the tougher it usually gets. What if I start big, and as I go, I make it smaller? What am I now adding? A bit of an outside edge stop, and now I'm at the circle. Who wants to try that? Just to explore with an outside edge feel. Way to step up. Look at him go. Okay, now look at his ankle bend, knee bend. Are the knees in line? Beautiful. Okay, now do it with your weaker foot and explore, and we'll compare. Hold your outside edges. Again, visualize a U7 or U9 kid do this. There could be a jump added. Who wants to try and do the circle and add a jump? Would you mind trying? Yeah, just do go to your strong side, whatever that is, left or right. So outside edge, try and add a jump. Okay, how does that feel with the landing part? Will our kids have fear at lower levels or younger ages to try the jump? Sure, but we may want to do the straight glide first to add a jump and then go to inside edge because it'll be easier and then go to outside edge. One thing happens when we go to inside edges and we jump, they usually jump because they're falling, not because they're in control. So let's say we would be doing this drill right here, and we're asking our kids to jump over and back. Well, what am I doing right now? I'm just falling. This is me controlling it. Now I'm waiting a second before I jump. Does that make sense? Okay, with the stick, could I be on one foot, jump over, catch myself, and jump back? This is much tougher to do. Who wants to try that? Could your kids do this? Could we jump over and back? Could I jump over and hold my outside edges and back? There's different things we could do with sticks, circles, lines. Who has those skill sticks? And what do you guys utilize them for? Yeah. So it could be that it's this and we turn it the other way. Now I may be working on crossover glide on the next one. Who wants to try that? So it's what I just did on the line, but we're adding a jump. Who wants to try it? We'll just delete that off the camera if it didn't go well. Let's go. Outside hold and outside back. Yes. And then you would, of course, continue. How does it feel? Now, if you would jump over the line again, would it feel easier? Exactly. Okay, now everyone go into stance like this and make this the important foot. Why is that the important foot? It's my direction. This one is support. So everyone follow me and hold. Who has sound? Someone had a bit of sound. Yeah? Did you? A little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, how did that feel based on your hips again? Remember the stretch that we did earlier? So you now may have, what are we simulating? Crossovers? Right? And that's kind of where that goes. Could I start with it like this? And I do a C-cut, I go under, I do a C-cut, and I go under. Sure. Can you guys try that? Doesn't have to be at high speed. So C-cut, push it back underneath. Try and keep your heels down as you go. My heels are not coming up. My heels are not coming up. So now with the lines, depending on your kid's age and size, if I hold this on the line, I can clearly see if I stay straight and how far apart my feet are. If I go to the blue line, it's much thicker. So some kids at the younger ages may not be able to do that because they're not digging into their front knee enough. I gotta have a knee bend on my front knee. Does that make sense? How was that based on hip tightness? So far, do you want to add anything when it comes to like the body mechanics stuff? When it comes to U7s to U11s, overall strength is probably not there. They're trying to connect through their bodies still because they may not be doing enough off ice. And we don't play outside anymore as we used to. Jumping over fences, climbing up trees. We did all that, which helped us connect to our bodies. Now our kids do less with that, and their only activities may be on ice. Do you have anything?
Does it say a lot of kids they can use more work just working on balance on one leg?
Yes.
And catch it on one leg.
Yeah. And I'll show you guys later some of the tools that speed skaters use when they're on one leg. They have Velcro on the bottom, and you could actually change where you put it depending on flat feet or not fleet or high arch or whatever it might be. And there's a ton of options on Amazon, like the pancake, the round ones. But one leg is the way to go. Remember the time when we all bought pipes, the round pipes, put a piece of wood on top, and we worked on balance? That's 2 feet. But we're skating one as the other one is doing balance and power. So one-legged stuff would be awesome. Okay, let's come over here. Just ignore the pucks for now and just do tight turns. Please don't touch the pucks. With your U7 kids, oh, just relax. With your U7 kids, it'll be a little easier. But if you take their head and turn the head, what happens to the rest of the body? Shoulder turns, hip wants to turn, we start moving. When we do in the turns, who from you guys sells the upper body part as we turn? So with the maybe a bit stronger skaters, what you could be doing is this drill, where you throw your stick ahead. My stick leads me through with where I'm going. Does that make sense? And then we may go back to this. Now, can we try and do the same drill outside edges only? So we're gonna hold our outside edge right here. You may wanna start out slow, hold your outside edge, switch, outside edge, switch, outside edge. Let's try that. Just because your kids will need stronger outside edges for better tight turns. You don't have to rush this at all. Just find your comfort and go with it. See how you had that transition? And I'll talk about that in a second, because there is a regression that could be added. If we can't reach over, we'll end up doing that extra little step.
Is there some like quick ways to get them into a knee bend? Like, how do you enforce that behavior?
So if kids are usually too tall, what I like to do is we start down here. Yeah, if you want to go down on this knee, please. If you need to put your glove underneath, go ahead. Put your foot to the side. Remember the gliding drill earlier? Now what if we dig into each other? Find your edge. Find your edge. Yeah, find your edge. Now dig in. And there's a reload too. I'm not just going to lock my knee. Now what will kids do? They usually want to drop. What happens to my foot? Yeah, I'm on 1. How is that going to give me my 2 and 3 that I need? So we need to have a flat blade as we do that. We're going to dig in. So now we're going to stand up. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to dig in. So now they hopefully understand that we have to be lower in order to have more balance. Another thing you could do is, if you two come just over here, you and I are 7 years old, 8 years old, we're just going to hold our stick like this. You guys come and push us from the sides. Now, do I need to have awareness of the push? Sure, now switch sides. Okay, cool. Now we have awareness again, we look. Now imagine you guys are 7 years old. Can you be 7? Just go on your knees for a sec. You're 7, okay? Push me, I'm coach. How easy was it? Okay, now you guys go on your knees, be 7 years old, and come right over here. Yeah, be right beside me. You guys are standing right now as a 7-year-old. Yeah, come right over here. Can all 3 of you push me? Yeah, dig in, dig in, dig in. Okay, so now there's 3 pushing versus 1. Push me again. How's my balance? So you may have to give them visuals like that. Now, can all of us go around to these coaches and push them from the sides or behind? If it's from behind, make sure you close your feet up. Okay, go stick up, go into your active stance. You're gonna be pushed. And coaches, yeah, you 4, you 3, help me. Push a little stronger on these guys because they're much stronger than a 7-year-old, hopefully. Okay, what are you guys activating when we pushed you? See where he naturally wanted to go? Now we go too far. So everyone, go into your stance really far. Yeah? And you may do this with your kids. Now start skating. How's that going? Have your feet too close together. Start skating. Where do we always want to go? Somewhere that makes a bit more sense. So when we are doing the drill and you're pushing them, we need to remind them of, hey, correct your feet again, bring them underneath. We want to dig into it and not lock into it. If there's pressure here, I want to be aware of it and be reactive to it. Does that make sense? Or I could be there and be active to it because I know it's coming. When we're further down the road, could I hit as an offensive player? Sure. So if we're teaching at younger ages, that I may have the puck, I'm here, and I bump first, I can do that. I'm allowed to bump as we go. Does that make sense? Could we both have a puck, pretend to stick handle, and we're both digging in? Could we? Are we going lower? How would that look if we're taller? We could do the same on the knee. I have a puck over here as I dig in. Again, there's a lot of different spectrums when it comes to that. Let's come back over here. The puck's there for a reason, because we're going to do a tight turn, cross over, tight turn, cross back, cross over. Does that make sense? Let's try it out. Cross over the other way. Yes. On the first one, cross your left foot over your right. On the first one, your left goes over your right. And these are tight turns. These are not lifting your feet. Tyson, the other way. Now bring your right foot in front. Yeah? Tight turn again. Now left foot. So you have, again, you can work on the hip part. So especially with some of you injured guys, and they have hip stuff, then maybe these are some ideas you could go to. Okay, how was it based on coordination, timing, and make it happen? Tell me how much speed I'm starting with. Did I get a little faster? Is there any any C-cuts or like crossovers like this? No. So when do we get more speed? Who wants to go one more time and figure out where we get speed? Good, love the volunteers right now. Yeah, you guys can all go again if you want to figure it out. Where do we add the speed in this drill? And don't start too fast. Do not start too fast. So I find if we just get asked to do tight turns anywhere, that's very different than having to follow something. Because now we have to actually figure out, okay, be a push or when I have my undercut. So there are two ways of getting speed, but it's hidden. Would your kids be able to do this? Probably would be a little tougher. Now, could we have it set up like this? Now I don't have to worry about anyone else but me. Does that make sense? It's just me. There could be someone right behind me and do the same thing, but you could do that too. Do we need cones and pucks? This could be bingo dabbers again. And you maybe make it a 1 for the first station and a 2. There's a number 2 on the ice for the next one, whatever it might be. Who wants to explore it as a station on its own? Yeah, anyone that's willing. Yeah, that's good. Raise, step up. Yeah, love it. Tight turn. Go, yeah. Cross. Okay, cool. That's good. What's your name, please? Nathan. What is Nathan teaching us about his tight turns? That you're not very comfortable on your outside edge, and he relies on his heel to add power. But also, it is in some ways, it's power and a brake at the same time. So if we're doing a tight turn, what numbers should we be on? When I go on 3 and 4, it's a brake. If I'm on 1 and 2, it's a brake. 2 and 3 should give me a flat blade again, which keeps me going. Again, I know these numbers are more for you guys when you teach. You should be able to see what numbers someone's skating on or which part of the skate or foot they're skating on. And now that you've done these drills, it should give you a good idea, oh, too much on their heels, or their chests are down and so on. Then you may go back to the other drills to make the focus about just changing our posture a little bit. Who does tug of war? Okay, that's a nice one too, because we're gonna see, is someone leaning over or am I on top? I want to be on top of both of my feet at the proper edge part, so 2 and 3, instead of being on 1 and 2. Does that make sense? Okay, what do we got here? I'll just borrow you for a sec. Can you pull me, please? Sorry, I actually need the puck. I'm going to show you a few things you could be doing. So you're going to be tired after this. Just glide me as I'm just on my neutral edge. I could work on my inside-outside edge. I could add a jump. I could add a stride. I could go behind. Let's go again. So again, glide, jump, stride, go behind, inside-outside edge. I could, no, keep going. I told you, you're going to be tired. I could work, that's good, that's good. I could work on my outside edge stops or inside edge stops. Does that make sense? Because I'm getting support, someone's pulling me. The first kid could work on their strides. Now what I just did in movement, you guys may want to do without movement prior to. Can you try that, please? When we go into strides, it is super important that this leg is our foundation. If I don't have this leg, my stride length is going to be disappearing. We got to have a balanced leg first. Most of our kids at younger ages skate like this. Everything is very white track. How far is my push? If you guys look at speed skaters, when they go into strides, they actually almost go into their outside edge to then go back to their inside edges. Do you see how you fall to your outside edge a bit? So let's try that. I'll pull you and you try it so you have an idea what the kids go through. Oh no, yeah, it has been a long day. Let's go. Let me know if you lose your puck. And you want to let your kids know about that too. I like it how he has it under his toe because it allows him to have more of an extension. If I have it under my flat blade, I could lose it. Ready? You try whatever you want. And how does it feel? Yeah? Okay. Now come here again. This time I'm going to let go of it. You're trying all this when I don't give you speed anymore. Ready? I'm going to let go of my stick. So let go. Now try it. Okay. So what is he doing? He's going up and down, right? So ideally would be if we are down. Can I have that puck, please? If that puck is under and I go into my strides. Does that make sense? Yes? So you were doing this. Oops, you were going tall. Tall. We don't want to be tall. We want to stay low. Does that make sense? Okay. Where are we at here? It's 1 minute. What do you guys take out of today? I could go on for hours with more drills. With an age range of 7 to 11. Please try and do more neutral edge and outside edge stuff, more one-legged stuff versus two, because they find comfort in two. If they fall, they're teaching us something. If it's too much for them, they're teaching us what they can handle and what they cannot handle. So don't keep it too safe all the time. I think it is important to give them something safe so they feel comfortable, build their confidence, something where they maybe start dividing a little bit, and then something that they can handle at all. None of them. It helps us to understand parents. Oh, my kid is never challenged, whatever. Our kid is challenged now, but where is it breaking down? And that's what we need to learn is the breaking down part. Because now they taught us what we need to do to progress or regress. Does that make sense? Can you guys just share what you learned about yourself today when it comes to your body type, some of your body mechanics? Okay, anything else? Yeah? How about our center of gravity? Do you mean to get lower? Yeah, and that's, again, anything you guys try today will help you understand your kids better and it will make your feedback better because you lived it. And if you need to relive it with them so your feedback gets stronger, then so be it. Does that make sense? Okay.